In this video, I'm going to discuss the basic operation of the Riverhawk HT-6691 kit. The tensioner includes a load cell, foot, puller screw, spanner ring, and the guard. The kit will also include the pump, the hydraulic pump required to pressurize the cylinder, and should include the instruction manuals and all the documentation required to perform the operation. The instruction manual, if it's not in the kit, you can find it at riverhawk.com under instruction manuals. And you'll also need a copy of the hardware drawing, which will include our stick-out dimensions. This stick-out dimension is critical for establishing the proper relationship between the stud and the flange face. That's done by using either our gauge, which is set over top. You want the ears of the gauge touching the nut and the flat part touching the face of the stud at the same time. That establishes that relationship. If not, you can use the dimension, use a set of calipers and set that dimension, or a drop gauge will also work. That's outlined in the instruction manual. Once that's done, you want to set your spanner ring on, put a wrench on the back side, snug that up. You want to do a quick double check, just make sure the dimensions didn't move on you when that was tightened. And now we can start building our tension on the stud for tensioning. First, what you'll want to take is your puller screw. Make sure the threads are clean here. Make sure the conical threads on the stud are clean. That's important because there's a lot of forces going through these threads and we need a good engagement. If they're not clean, instruction manual IM 220 will give you instructions on how to clean the conical threads, and that can also be found on our website. What you want to do is set the puller screw in the stud, turn it hand tight, make sure it's snug with the Allen wrench, loosen it about a quarter turn, and then just turn it hand tight. That does not have to be tight, that'll just make things difficult to remove after tensioning. Take your spanner ring, place that over, line up the pins with the holes on the nut, drop that in. The magnets there will hold that in place. And then we'll take our foot with the legs sticking out, facing the flange. That will just rest on there. That doesn't have to be tight, that's just loose. We'll take our core tensioner, that threads on the end of the puller screw, and we want to screw that on until there's about a 3/16 to a 1/16 gap between the foot and the bottom of the core tensioner. We don't want to tighten that up tight, we just want it until it bottoms out. There again, that will just make things more difficult to remove later. Once that's snug on the puller screw, the foot should still have that little bit of gap. That's okay, we're going to take that up when we start tensioning. We want to take our guard, set it over top, and turn our interlock clamping screw here, and that will engage the interlock with the backside of the cylinder, clamping the guard onto the tensioner and the flange. You want to bring that right in until it's tight. There should be no gaps here. And then take our hydraulic connection, which is just an extension of a quick disconnect inside here, and lock that in. Once that's locked in, this should be able to spin but not be able to slide in and out. That's has a connection between the core tensioner and the hydraulic connection. Then we want to take our hose from the pump, connect that to the tensioner, and then we can pressurize. As we're pressurizing the cylinder, hydraulic fluid is flowing into the cylinder. This bottom wash on the cylinder will come out, extend out, and start pressing against the foot. You'll see a gap there. That's what's creating the force. As that's pumping, you want to stay clear of that. There's a lot of forces there, and you don't want to have your hands or any tools in there while it's coming up the pressure. We'll wait until it comes up the pressure and stabilizes before we get our pin wrench in there. Hydraulic pressures are outlined in the instruction manual also. Once that's stabilized, tighten up our spanner ring with our pin wrench, release the pump, and then allow the oil to drain back out. This wash on the bottom of the cylinder will retract slowly, We want to wait until that's fully retracted up against its original position, and we want to wait about 15 seconds to ensure that all the oil is drained out of the cylinder. Now it's retracted, we can release our hydraulic connection, unclamp the clamping screw, which will release the guard. And then we can disassemble the tensioner, remove the foot, remove the puller screw, and move on to the next stud. Thank you.